Okay, this is a lot of supplies. Night of Navy. This was the very first color of cardstock I used to make my first Stampin' Up card. And it was using like the Frosty stamp set. Anyway, Night of Navy. And it measures 8.5 by 5.5. And then we have basic white. That's scraps for die cutting. And then this piece here measures 5.5. Nope. What does it measure? 5.25 by 1 7/8. Okay, 5.25 by 1 7/8. Then we have the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper, 6 by 6. If you guys have not looked at that pack of paper in the Celebration catalog, it is fabulous paper. 6 by 6. And then we have another pattern of that paper that measures 3.5 by 3.5. And then we have two more pieces that measure, I'm looking, where's my measurements? I don't know. Oh, 5.5 by 3/4. And then we have scraps of Seaside Spray, Rococo Rose, I can finally say that, and Old Olive. Okay, what we're going to do first, we're going to stamp. There's not a lot of stamping on this because this is a fun fold card. So what we're going to do first, oh, I should tell y'all the stamp sets. It's just one. We're using the In Bloom bundle. That includes the In Bloom stamp set and the Pierced Blooms dies. So I have already used one of the flowers on my kangaroo box back in January. And we're also using the stitch shape die. So these are the pieces that we're using. Now, we're going to go ahead and cut out this oval with Whisper White. Aren't they so beautiful? We're going to be using the little mini a bunch today. So someone asked the other day, how do I keep my plates from warping? Just alternate them like this. Okay? Alternate them. And that helps with the warping. Okay, so we're cutting. Oh, I'm not. We'll go backwards this time. Okay, we're going to stamp our greeting on this. Now, any greeting will work for this card. If you want a birthday card, use a different greeting. I'm using You Are Amazing with the Night of Navy ink. Okay. I'm stamping it further down to the bottom. Okay. Night of Navy. Now, we'll set that aside and we're going to cut out all of our flowers. So that's what these pieces are here. So I'm going to use, we're going to start with Rococo Rose. So I'm going to use this one and this one and this one. Okay. So let me slide everything over. Get the mini back out. I'm just going to slide it over for just a second, get my pieces. I don't want to lose anything, so I don't need this. There's nothing attached to it. I'm going to toss that behind me. And then there's those. Next, I'm going to take the old olive and I'm going to cut out. Do y'all hear the birds? Oh, baby bird. Baby bird. Y'all hear Gizmo? Oh, baby bird. This stamp set is called In Bloom. Uh-oh. These birds have so much personality, and they're not even in my room. They're actually 2 doors down, believe it or not. Okay, now we're done with the old olive. Now we need to do the Seaside spray. So I'm going to use this one and this one and this one. Okay. Move those over. Okay, come on. They are cheering me on, aren't they? They are very happy. They want me to go get them. That's their ultimate goal, is for me to come in there and hang out with them. But I got too much going on today to be hanging out with them. Okay, we are done cutting with our little mini. Now we're going to put our dies back so that I don't lose anything. I lost my scoring tool on, my scoring thingy on my paper trimmer, and I still don't know where it is. I think it might be under my island. Oh, I don't need that flower, so we'll just leave that there. Okay, now I'm going to get my silicone craft sheet and some liquid glue, and I'm going to add one of these little flowers to the middle of the Rococo Rose. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to add a Rococo Rose to the middle of the Seaside spray. We're going to build this later. So we're going to set all that aside. And now we have the cutting part to do, which is the part that's going to give me the shapes. So I'm going to get my paper trimmer. And because I lost my scoring thingy, I'm just going to use my stylus to score. So we're going to score this at 4 1/4. So this is 8.5 by 5.5. I'm going to score it at 4 1/4, just like we normally do for our cards. I'm going to use the small tip because the large one don't fit in the track. Okay, we're going to fold this over and then burnish with our bone folder. Okay, so now we're going to take our trimmer and we're going to turn it sideways. And we want to place this edge at the 1 inch mark, and we're going to cut from the top to the 2 inch mark. Okay, so we're going to place this, and I better stand up to see this. I might have to move it this way. Okay, so the 2 inch mark is this line right here. So the 2-inch mark is that line. So we're going to score in the track, not score, we're going to cut. So I'm going to make sure I'm still on the 1 inch, okay? Bring my cutting blade up, and I'm going to cut all the way down to the 2-inch. And yes, I might have to put my head in the camera. Okay, now we're going to move this to the 2.5. This is 2.5. And I'm going to cut to the 2. Okay, now I'm going to, so this is how it looks right now. So now I'm going to turn it this way. Okay, so let me show you where to cut. Line your blade up at the 1 and the 3, and you're going to cut out this 2-inch square, okay? So the blade is at 1, so I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to cut over to the 3. And we have just cut out a 2-inch square, okay? Like this. I didn't mess it up. Yay! So we're going to set our card front aside for a few minutes, and we're going to work on these 2 pieces here. Again, I'm going to take my paper trimmer, and I'm going to score this 6x6 piece at 2 inches on all 4 sides. So 2, 2, 2, and 2. Okay, so that's been scored at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Then I'm going to score this one at just a tad less than 3/4 on all 4 sides. So 3/4 on the trimmer is right here. So we're going to score that just a hair less than 3/4. Okay. I'm going to start with this piece. We're going to fold on all 4 lines. Okay, so I've burnished with my bone folder. Now we're going to do the same thing with this layer. I love this paper too. It's beautiful. And I think this might be the first time I've used it. I have good intentions, but there's only so many hours in a day. Okay, so now I'm going to cut up to the score line on both sides across from each other, so parallel. And then I'm going to trim those little tabs just to make it a little bit easier to assemble. put my glue in the wrong spot. So now I'm going to take my liquid glue and I'm going to place it on the tabs and then assemble. There's that one. And this one. Now this side. Okay, I'm going to hold that for a second. What are we making? We are making a box and a card. Okay, we're going to set the lid aside for now, and we're going to... We hear you, Gizmo. Baby bird. Okay, so I'm going to cut up to the score line. If I was quiet, they would be quiet. It's because I'm talking, they have to talk too. They're social birds. If we lived in Australia, cockatiels just fly around in the nature. Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay, so we're going to trim the inside, just on the left and the right a little bit. My kids and I, we watch a lot of bird videos, and we're always amazed at all the parrots and cockatiels and cockatoos, and oh my gosh, they just fly in nature. They just live outside. Okay, so I'm going to put adhesive on these two tabs. Can I tell from one bird from the other? Oh yeah, Elvis is... don't tell Gizmo, but Elvis is prettier. He has more yellow. Gizmo is a little bit dirty. When he was little, we called him I called him the dirty bird because his feathers were very gray and kind of dirty looking. But he's gotten more yellow on him, so he's more attractive now. But Gizmo, he's a show off. Like, he can make the camera sound on the iPhone. He's gotten so used to posing for our videos that when we hold the phone up, he starts doing that clicking sound. Okay, now we're going to put our adhesive over here too. You guys can use your favorite adhesive. You can use tear and tape. You can use Stampin' Seal, whatever you want. The reason I use this is that it gives me some wiggle room. If I don't put it in the perfect spot, I can slide it because it doesn't stick immediately. That's why I hold it for a second. So that's why I use it. Because I do get that question asked often, is why are you using liquid glue? Because it's very forgiving right before it sticks. It allows you to slide your paper, or yeah, it allows you to shift it into place. Okay, so here is our little box, and let's see which one's the front. So the seam is in the back, so this is the front. So we're going to put our lid. It's a tight fit, so if you want, you can, when you go to assemble this, like I went over the edge a tad on a couple of these edges. You want to don't go over the edge. So yeah, y'all know, you've made boxes, right? Sometimes you have to squeeze the sides in to get them to work. That's because you or not you, me, I did it a little over the edge. So I'm going to take this, what is this called? Denim ribbon. Judy, it wasn't that long ago, right? like maybe a year or so. Yeah, I only used liquid glue on like coaster projects for years and years and years. And I don't know, I challenged myself to the liquid glue, and man, once I did it, it's like boom. I love it. Okay, we're going to set our box aside now. Isn't it cute? And now we're going to finish the card part of it. Okay, so let me get the ribbon out of here. I feel like I'm missing something. I may be, I may not. So I'm going to take liquid glue again, and I'm going to add these two panels. Now, when I made my sample this morning, I accidentally put the paper on crooked because I was not using my liquid glue. And I was like, what am I doing? Now, it doesn't hang over the edge like the one I made this morning. Y'all will see it in just a minute. I didn't remake it. I just like, okay, it's not perfect. What is the name of the dies with the large oval? That is the stitch shape dies. And the flowers is Pierce Blooms. Yeah, this one. It is a fabulous set. I love it. I hope it carries over to the annual catalog. Okay, now we want to add our paper to the inside. Now you can stamp this. You can decorate this whole inside. I'm not doing anything because I'll do it later when I decide to give it to someone. Okay, come here. Pat wants to know what's more economical. The liquid glue, absolutely. Oh my gosh, absolutely. It's $4, and yeah, that's why a lot of people use this. And we've had this like ever since I've been a demonstrator. Okay, now this is going to go here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach it just with my liquid glue. There's no sound again. Okay, so I'm going to add this here. Okay, some people can hear me and some can't. So can you guys type in the box to tell her to turn the sound up on her system? Yeah. Maybe I just need to talk louder. I'm not talking a lot because I'm assembling. So this is going to go here, but we want to add our green. So I'm just going to put some liquid glue. Now when you're adding the greenery, yeah, I guess we can call it a greenery. Technically, I guess it's a leaf, right? Make sure that you don't go over this edge, because if you do, then you won't be able to put your box in there, okay? So now I'm going to attach this piece with a Stampin' Dimensional. And then this one's going to get added with a mini dimensional. And I'm going to add it a little bit over to the other side. So it's going to go here. Nope, over here. And then this one's going to get added down here, but I'm going to whack off half of it. So this is going to get added right there. I can tell I actually need a new liquid glue. And then this one's going to go here with a dimensional. Whoops, gotta give it time to dry. And then this one's going to get added with a mini dimensional. It really is. Now we need to add our embellishment. And today we're using the pearls, basic pearls. I'm only having trouble because y'all are watching me. Okay, there's that one. And this one. And this one. Okay, so now we're going to add, come back here. So it stands up like this. There's the card. And then the box, you got to hold your mouth right. And then open it. Look how cute that is. I can't believe I made it. Like, I've never made one of these before until today. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Yeah, look, so here it is standing. It's so hard to show you on camera how it looks, you know, because, I mean, I guess that's how I show you, right? So cute. So this is the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper that's in the Celebration catalog. I want to remind you guys, because I noticed yesterday that there's a ton of demonstrators that's not aware Celebration is only 2 months, January and February. So we only have February, and then these products will be gone. So yeah, ever since I joined, Celebration has been January, February, and March. But this year, it's January and February. We're going to have another one later this year, but for this one, it's January and February.